And we're live. All right.
Easy
Uh,
as that.
Easy as that. I've got Alden here with the Attica Police Department. This
What's
guy's a
going
real
on?
man. He's been a very good friend of mine for a while, and I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, man, appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pull this up on my Facebook page on my phone so I can watch the comments, and I'm going to wait for people to pile in. Bryce is already on.
So
Bryce, you just literally just left my house.
it's
I
true.
love you, man. Thank you
Camera
for
adds
watching.
10 pounds, right?
Yeah, you look great, man. You look good. You look real good. All right. I promised this man that I would never tell him how many people are watching. So
Yeah, no, we didn't bring the brown paper bag for this.
are you nervous at all?
Oh, a little bit. We'll
Yeah.
see. If my voice starts cracking, then yeah,
You'll do good. You'll do good. All right. So I wanted to cover a couple of things, and like still kind of keep it casual,
yeah,
And it's gonna get. I know it's gonna get heated for me because I'm telling you now, if I see people talking shit in the comments, I'm gonna, I'm gonna get it. But that's. I'll wait. I'm gonna hold off. But the one thing that I want to cover is like the slight, what I would call a slight disconnect between like, and I don't think it's necessarily just Attica, but the disconnect between the people and the police in general. So not necessarily just here, although I do think it's like kind of an underlying issue of Attica as well. But that's like the biggest thing that I wanted to cover, and I want to get like your, obviously your professional opinion on it, kind of the day to day things that you deal with, and just maybe
yeah,
even like story you coming up.
yeah, man. So I could definitely see that, especially in today's society. It's a hot topic.
Yeah,
What do you see almost every day on the news? One of us messing up, doing something wrong. It happens every day. But what you got to realize also is we're human.
yeah,
Just like everybody else, we make mistakes. There's good cops, there's bad cops.
yeah, and I totally agree with that. And it's like the toughest thing because I hear it all the time. I really do. I hear it on pretty much every platform I have, whether it's Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. And everyone that knows me or watches any of my stuff knows that I'm a pretty strong supporter of the police, no matter where. And yeah, I know that there's bad cops out there and I know that there's good ones, but I also know that they're people. And I feel like a real strong issue that people face when dealing with the police is that they there's no face almost all the time. It's just like they're dealing with this unknown entity, and they get heated about, whatever shit they've read on the news, and it drives me nuts. And like I've known you for a few years and you're a great guy. And I've met a ton of good cops. I mean, I've met a ton of dicks too,
Well, some may argue with that, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, like there's a ton of good folks, and I've met a ton of asshole cops, and I've had just as many run-ins with the cops as the next guy, if not more. But like, for the most part, man, I've always been treated really well and fairly.
yeah, I mean that's what you. I guess that's what I want to say more or less. It's what I guess. Let me back up. So I guess we're blessed in this area, the Fountain Warren area.
Yeah.
That we're smaller. We're a smaller community. Everybody knows everybody, and man, the guys and girls that we have on our force here in Attica, and even Warren County, and the Fountain County units, just great guys. I mean, really. I
Yeah,
mean,
I would agree.
I think we're blessed, with the people that we have, and that even goes to state level too. I know some of the state guys are probably watching right now too, so I
Holla.
gotta throw out that.
Holla, what's up? I
Even though
see
they
you.
think that they're better than everybody else, but no, but I mean, really, there is. I can see where, I see it too. I'm human. I go home. I see it. I see the comments. I see what people say. There is a disconnect, and some of that falls on us as officers too. We go out here and we handle some of these things that people don't want to see. People don't want to know that's going on, and we got to try to reel that in and still maintain our composure when we're just out in the public talking to people.
Yeah, is that difficult?
It can be, and like I said, that kind of goes back to the men and women that work around here. I think that we all do a pretty good job with maintaining our composure.
Yeah.
You deal with a stressful situation, and you might, go help somebody that fell down at the gas station or county market. I think that we have that good on and off switch around here. We're lucky with the guys and girls that we have around here to do that.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know. I mean, it's tough because like I used to know, man, a ton of the officers really well. And then, as things progress and time goes on, obviously there's new faces, but I mean, being like completely objective and really looking at things open-minded. And I mean, people bitch about it all the time about, well, you can't drive through Attica without getting stopped. Everybody's heard it, and I drive around probably as much as the next guy, if not more, doing different things or going to meetings or whatever. Like, and
Yeah. Well,
I got a license plate out, so if you guys are watching,
you're gonna get hit.
It's a wrap, man.
No, I mean, there's reasons why we do that.
Yeah.
It's not just because we're going here and throwing that badge around. There's problems, not just here, but everywhere. Drug problems, and that's our easiest way to try to combat that issue. Yeah, you may have a headlight out, you may have a plate light out. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking, I think, for the majority of the guys on my department, that we're not going to stop you for 3, 4, 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, but get later on in the night. That's how we try to combat the issues that we have in town with our drug problems, and we've had really good success. It's not that we're trying to pick on anybody or be authoritative.
Yeah.
We really want to combat this issue, and it's a big issue, and some people maybe don't want to hear that. That might be some tough for some people listening, that, we don't have an issue with that around here. It's not just us, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. Just a simple traffic stop. Yeah, we may pull over somebody that is very well known in the area, but we don't recognize their vehicle, or we're looking for those infractions. We're looking for something to build a bigger case.
Yeah.
To
it works.
To help the community out more than anything.
Yeah, and you said it works too, right?
It works. I mean, we do. I can't. Here lately, we're trying to get that out to the public of what we're accomplishing, because everybody needs to know that. I don't think that we've done, the greatest job at letting everybody know, this is what happened in town. This is what we've got off the streets, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's a regular thing. It's a regular occurrence in town. And it's a problem, and that's what we want to try to deter.
Yeah, and kind of touching on that subject a little bit too, is like, it's not just, I don't think it's just a problem with the police and letting people know or anything like that. I've found this as honestly, it's probably one of the biggest motivators for me to do this podcast. Is there's so many people that are in this community, or even not, that I know watch my Facebook posts, or know that watch my videos, and it's so many times I'll talk to people, they don't know what's going on, whether it's an issue with politics or an issue with just somebody in town or whatever. And it's like, damn, if I can kind of make this podcast like kind of the just the middleman spot, where people can come and at least figure shit out for their own and be completely unbiased. I don't have any skin in this game. I want to get to the bottom of questions that a lot of people might have. And obviously, I mean, I have my beliefs, and I think, if we're going to be completely honest, I think when people screw up or do dumb shit, they don't want to take responsibility for it 9 times out of 10. And that's coming from somebody who's messed up a million times.
Same here. I'm not perfect. I've had my fair share of mistakes.
Yeah. And so like, it comes back to, are you going to take responsibility for the dumb shit that you've done and figure it out and move forward or not? And unfortunately, the people that don't take responsibility, I think, on social media are the loudest. And I think that's kind of like one of the main things I really want to combat with this.
Yeah.
And like, I know, as far as you and all my like other friends that are police officers, I know that when you guys go on duty, you don't want to go out and just write a bunch of people tickets and shit, because you still have to live with these people. Like, you have to see these people at the grocery store. And I really wanted to point that out. I want to make that kind of clear, but I don't. Yeah.
So, that's, believe it or not, community involvement, it's not only is it a big issue, but it's something that we're trying to bond more of, especially around here. I've been doing this job for 7 years. I was a reserve for the county before I even came into town. I hear about some of the old issues that go on here. Well, the past is the past. What we got is what we got now, and we have a great group of guys.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Like the past is the past. What's changed?
So, we're young right now, and I'm not
Yeah.
knocking none of the older guys that have come through. They built where we're at now.
Yeah.
And training, I think training has a lot to do with it too. A big push in the academy too is community involvement, and
Really?
I don't disagree with that. No, yeah.
What do they say?
Community policing, just being active in the community.
Oh, yeah.
You see a far more negative videos, I think, shared on the news or social media.
Oh, absolutely.
Police officers, but
yeah,
you might see every once in a while of an officer stopping, getting out playing basketball, and
dude, I
with
love
kids or
yeah.
something like that. And,
yeah,
and I'm not the first to say that I'm the greatest at that. I'm not. But as far as just going out and talking to people in the community, or I like stopping by the dealership, talking to the guys there, and people coming in and out there. That's a booming place right now too.
Yeah.
But that's a big push in the academy. Just being involved, getting people involved with you, letting you know what the issues are, and that kind of goes hand in hand with people wanting to come to you.
Absolutely.
And telling you, hey, look, this may be nothing, but I've seen this car go by late at night.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to know that. And by being active in the community and being open,
right,
with everybody, kind of open arms, I guess, brings people in to just give you helpful tips like that. We can go out there and help the issues that are going on.
Dude, I totally agree. I think it builds trust. So even if it's like just a complete unknown person, but you keep running into them at the store or whatever, and eventually they get to know who you are, or however you create that bond. I think I really believe it's crucial if you look at it on more of like a macro scale. And I guess what I mean by that is that when you have your buddies, right? And let's just on maybe a smaller plane right now, but when you have one of your friends that becomes a cop and they're just, it's just your buddy and you understand. Well, it's easier for you to sympathize with all police officers kind of across the board because you know what they're going through and you know the bullshit that they got to deal with and all that. But when you don't have that, and then maybe you can meet through the store or however, with that community involvement you're talking about, I think that's a real easy way for people to at least put a face. So like the next time that they get stopped, they're not scared shitless. They're like, oh dude, that's Alden coming up, man. He just didn't know the car.
And it could be something as simple as holding the door and smiling at somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something little as that can go a long way for people that may have that portrayal of us in general as police that, let's not make any eye contact. They're serious about their business. No, I mean, we're people,
right?
Yeah. And that's another big issue. We got to remember too when we're out here, no matter how much you mess up, we've messed up too. You're still a person. We're people.
Yeah.
We mess up. You got to treat people with respect. You know?
I think that's huge. Yeah, I really do. And that's coming from somebody that's done some dumb shit, and like, but I never feel like, to be honest, I never feel looked down upon. I never have. And if anything, I kind of feel like, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but like, I kind of feel like, maybe looked up to by certain people, And so I feel like I really get that respect from.
I mean, look at your sponsor board. I mean, you got a whole bunch of people that look up to you, man.
Yeah. And thanks for that. I really do appreciate that. And it's really good because I feel like, as somebody that so many people are watching, whether it's for good reasons or for bad reasons, I feel like that the police have never negatively, I mean, at least recently that I can think of, I've never had any negative interactions with anybody. And I feel bad because I know that the Attica police, they catch a bad rep, man. And I know a lot of it has to do with, like a lot of the drunk, like the DUI checkpoints. And shit like that. But that's shit that a lot of people don't know about. And I was one of them until recently. I didn't realize that. So for those of you that are listening, if you come through a DUI checkpoint, and I'll let you expound upon this, and you'll know far more about it than I do.
We'll get a little deep into this conversation too.
But one thing for sure that I found out is that when, at least on the politics side of things, and now this is to my understanding, and maybe I've got it wrong, but whenever you have a DUI checkpoint, it's like you get that and you collect money as a grant through the state. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and
It's
so
federally funded, comes through the state, and it's dispersed out.
right, and so I know that that is a big role playing factor in cities taking these on because, I mean, let's face it. I understand that nobody in the city is going to want to deal with a checkpoint. They're not going to want people driving through it. They're not going to want to have to
It's
deal
an
with it.
inconvenience. It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, and but you know, if it comes at a cost, okay, well, are you going to make money off this? And is it going to you know, the community in the long run, because is it going to pay for roads or repairs or, you know, whatever, then I think that that's important to at least take into consideration.
Yeah, so this could be a very touchy subject. So um, to say that the checkpoint situation was shoved down people's throat is absolutely accurate.
Okay.
You know, I'll just
But I
be
don't want to talk
completely
you
honest.
into, I don't want to get you into,
No,
you know what
no,
I mean?
and I think I'm okay with saying
Yeah.
that.
How many were there? Let's start there.
I mean, we
Like maybe per month or
per month. You mean we had every other weekend and twice every other weekend, so 4.
Damn.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I
Okay.
mean that can get
Okay.
overwhelming. I mean people
Yeah.
coming through town. You know, go out to eat
Yeah.
Lafayette or wherever, you come back and you come in and you're like, again, really?
Yeah.
Now, where I say you got to be careful with that is there is a reason why we're doing it.
Mm.
Um, but the main goal, believe it or not, is to deter people from drinking and driving. It's not to open up a gateway for anybody that's intoxicated to come into the checkpoint.
Right.
We put out a sign that says DUI checkpoint. We leave you an out to go out away from a certain area. What we're doing is deterring that from a certain area. Now, that being said,
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
yeah, so that's the whole point of it. And
So it's like you're going to take like you guys aren't idiots. You know that there's people driving drunk, and it's to keep them off like what busy
certain areas of the town or the county or wherever we're holding it.
It's pretty smart, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as far as that, like, okay, well, we know that there's going to be some drunk dummies around here, and they're going to try to go down this road. This is a really busy road, so let's give them an out here, and then maybe they'll take like this back way. Is that it? I mean,
That's
the
whole purpose, is to deter it from a certain area.
No shit. Okay.
So, but where I was going with this whole area, you know, this whole scenario is, I'm not saying that, you know, from now on we're still going to have these, because we're not. Okay, and I'm not giving people the green light of
right.
Go ahead and drive through town and talk.
Don't do it. Learn from me. Learn from me. I'll go there.
Only if you're booking. Otherwise, proof. No, man. But you know, we can do these elsewhere. This is a federally funded grant. It comes to us through the Indiana Crisis Institute, and then that's how we're funded to do these. You know, I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you honestly what the big push was for them in this town. I can't. I wasn't in charge of that at the time.
Does it go off like county?
Do what?
Does it go like county, or is it?
No, it's just kind of determines on where the administrator wants to put them.
Well, okay.
So we have a whole county to work with.
Right. Okay.
And you know, ICGI likes to see checkpoints done, but you know what I was told through there is you don't have to have for a month. You know, we want to see a couple throughout your grant year.
Yeah.
But they don't have to be in certain. You got a whole county to work with.
That seems kind of odd that they would pick one specific spot.
And I can't sit here and be the almighty of why.
Right. Understand.
You know, but you know, I've been kind of blessed to take on that aspect now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do things a little different.
Yeah.
We don't want that backlash. We really don't. We don't want that from the community whatsoever. And maybe that's one way where we can start building a little bit better bond with everybody around here. So.
I think that honestly, I think that's a damn good idea. I think that obviously I don't advocate drinking and driving, but I think it's a far bigger issue than that. I feel like it's almost looked down upon, like from the community part, as like almost like a trust issue. like these guys are trying to catch us. They're trying to catch us. Like that's all you hear is, the cops are always driving by Robbie's. The cops are always driving around, and like they're always, and like I don't.
Our gas pumps are down that way, so I mean, that's where we gotta get gas
Yeah.
down there too. So if you see us go by, I don't think that, at least our guys, I know that we're not concerned with sitting in a certain area. Maybe back when, I don't know, before our time, but our guys are wanting to go out to do other things than just sit on a bar.
Far more important.
We've got way better things to do than just sit.
That's what, and like I would like to think that I really would, and so that's like what kind of, those are like the things I feel like people need to look at things more objectively and really try to figure out like I mean, honestly, do you think they're going to sit down there and just watch the bar and wait for everybody to leave and then what, go try to bust like 20 people?
Yeah, just try to make one stop here or there. No, I mean, no.
Yeah,
it's, I guess it's kind of luck of the draw. If you're driving around and you get stopped, then bingo. You know what I mean? It's not that we have these DUI goggles on to where we're going out and wanting to put people in that position. An aspect, and turn around. Just watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're out here to keep everybody safe too.
Right.
We're out here to keep you safe.
Yep.
Even if you've been drinking, we don't want you to go out here and get in a wreck or hit somebody else and cause somebody else liability or yourself liability.
Yeah.
That's not what we want.
Right.
We want to be out here, and
it's a really thoughtful way to look at it, honestly. And it's not even that hadn't been something that had crossed my mind, but like, even if you have been drinking, we're not trying to bust you, we're trying to keep you safe.
I mean, that's the main goal. I mean, that's all we want. We don't want to see people hurt.
Yeah.
We don't want to see people set back. I mean, times are hard as they are,
Right.
Getting hemmed up on something like that, it might set you back.
Yeah.
Just be smart about it. I mean,
right.
If you think you're over, call, get a ride. And there's nothing that says that if you're at the bar, and I'm not saying that we're a taxi service or anything like that, but we would much rather you say, hey, I've been at the bar, I've had too many to drink, I don't feel comfortable with riding home. Can I get a ride to town, to my house?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would much rather you call me.
I know you'd do that.
And,
I know you would.
And I know our guys would do the same thing. We would much rather you do that than just chance it. Number one, get stopped, or number two, get in an accident, or number three, hurt somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our goal. And that's the goal with the checkpoints and the whole DUI task force anyway.
Right.
Is to decrease the number of DUI-related accidents. That's what the whole grant's for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's at least I feel like all the negative things it seemed like that the Attica police had dealt with, it seemed like it all stemmed from that. And I understand, I get it, as somebody driving through town and you see another checkpoint, damn, man. And like, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I just, for the people that are just now getting in here, I get it, like you, kind of like what I said, where it feels like maybe they're just trying to catch me. That's all they care about is this shit. And I don't think that that's necessarily the truth. And maybe in past experiences, I mean, I understand that we're under kind of a new leadership now, and I feel like that's honestly changed a bunch of shit. And I don't think it's something that's really been brought to the light. And I feel like, it's under a really good leadership, and I think it's really refreshing, to be honest.
It is, and we got a bunch of young guys on the department, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not knocking none of the older guys, because they're the ones that trained me.
Yeah,
they're the ones that gave me the drive to come out here and be a cop. But you got guys that are on our department. I'm speaking for our department, and I'll speak for some of the guys on the other departments too. You've got a group of guys around here, local, county, state, entities that are just genuine people. Yeah. I mean, they really are.
Yep.
And that's all we want, man. We don't want to cause any more conflict than what's already been caused.
Yeah.
And with our new leadership, I think we got a lot of good things coming. I kind of lost train of thought of where we were at.
No, I mean, you're right though. I totally agree with you. And I think what might be common knowledge to you, or even me being kind of in like an inner circle, but I don't think it's quite common knowledge to let's just say the people, the people of the city, or even of the surrounding areas. And I just think that they live each day, and as more and more bad shit happens, and it takes so long to rebuild a negative vibe that someone might get,
It
so like
does.
if they're, well, the Attica police sucks, well, then the Attica police sucks for a long time, far after they've got their shit fixed, or
Well, and
together better.
that's on a personal and a professional level.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You do something wrong,
Yeah.
you're gonna live with it for a little while.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just kind of how the world turns. But it's what you make of it, and what you do next is
Yeah, it's a damn good way to put it. And I don't know, and I guess it's really cool to kind of see it unfold, and it's even it's a real cool feeling to kind of feel like maybe I could help and be a part of it,
Yeah, man.
And
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. Honestly, I feel like, um, me personally, I'll be honest. Me personally, I could do better with being more open. I'm not saying that I'm a hermit crab and shut
Right.
everybody off
Yeah.
when I'm out here, um, I think that this is a great way to open up and say, look, we're not this department that's got our doors closed. We don't want to hear from nobody. We got our own way of doing things. Just let us do our job.
Yeah.
No,
I don't get that.
let's get people involved. Come to us. You guys, we're only as good as the information that we get.
Right.
And I think this is a perfect pedestal, man, to broadcast that out.
Yeah, that's, man, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Um, there's it's really cool to kind of be a part of it, and for the people that are watching, and I know I'm watching the people pile in here, and I know a lot of the names and everything. I really hope that some of you guys kind of, as like a takeaway, really just, these guys are people too, and they have families, and they don't want to do, and maybe I'm speaking out of term here, maybe, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth or anybody else, but I just know in general with people, they don't want to do a whole lot more than what they really have to.
Yeah, no,
So
we like to eat donuts and drink coffee. I mean, you
holla,
know what I mean?
holla.
And get a little break time.
Like, it's not like people are just like, these guys aren't just coming out and just gunning for every single body just to do it for the for the fuck of it. Like, it's, I think that I get a genuine vibe that everyone really on the force now does want to make a difference, and they want to do it with as little repercussions as possible.
Yep.
And that's, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I mean, you hit it perfect, man. Yeah, it all refers back to we're not out here to be the bad guy,
Right.
per se, but we are out here, and we are active, and we're going to continue to be active to get the problems, try to resolve the problems. You're never going to eliminate the problems. It's just what it is. It's the nature of
Right.
it's just what the nature is of it. But if we're active and proactive in this community with the traffic stops, with sitting and watching certain places because it's high crime area, and believe it or not, guys, yes, Attica does have its fair share of issues, but
is it booming? Is it booming with shit?
we're busy.
Yeah.
I mean, we are busy. I mean,
what's the biggest thing you think?
Our biggest problem right now is drugs, man.
Really?
Methamphetamine in Attica is I'm not just going to single out Attica. It's just the whole area right now.
Yeah.
Meth is huge.
Really?
It's big. It's a problem, and I would honestly say that is. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know who's watching, but I'd say that's 70% of what we get around here. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it'd been that high. Damn, that is insane. That's nuts, dude.
If we're correlating
right, no,
drug types, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's high right now.
That's nuts. Like, what are the like? And I mean, I know you're not a lawyer, but I mean, like, when you get stopped for something like that, like, does the system work? Do people typically get clean off of it? I mean, I know that that's like some serious shit, and I know you're not a professional in, like, drug analysis, but
right. Well, so I know that there's a big push right now for rehab.
Yeah.
I know that's the big push through our courts, and I can see both sides of things. If you honestly, if you know you get hemmed up and you get offered, rehab, drug court, whatever, take it seriously. I
Yeah.
mean, you're getting a chance to help yourself out, and I can't speak for that judicial side of everything, but
I'll get them next.
yeah, Daniel
I'm
Ashkin,
coming
you're up
for you.
next.
You're gonna see it, John from Choices Counseling. I'm gonna be calling you.
No, but it only works if you want it to work.
Yeah. Do you see, like, I guess maybe it's something that you would see a little better. Do you see, like, do you stop a lot of repeat offenders? I mean, is that like,
Yeah, we do.
do you?
Yeah,
Damn, that's sad to hear. That's,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, what do you do?
Right. What do you do?
You just come out here and you got to keep doing it. You can't turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
It's not what we're out here for. That's not what we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make that public service announcement right now is you got it, you're going,
right.
For the big stuff,
Yeah.
And we can get on a whole different conversation with marijuana and all that kind of stuff. That's something that could,
Boy, that's a hot topic.
that's
Damn,
something that
man.
could go for, we could sit here for another hour and discuss that.
Yeah.
And, that comes to where the state of Indiana lies right now. And with what we're required to do, I guess I could say with that.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of touchy, and like I say, I don't want to put you in a bind or anything, but I know from, and maybe I can just inform a little bit without, maybe I'll just try to put some words in your mouth that way. Like I say, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but I know, not including any specific names or anything, I do know a fair amount of police officers that aren't too worried about it. I've heard several stories from folks that throw the shit on the ground or whatever, and I didn't see it. Or sometimes maybe they let them go. I don't know, but I know that it's not people that are getting stopped for drugs and shit. I know that 9 times out of 10 they're not worried about a joint or like a one hitter or some dumb shit like that.
So heck, why not? We'll open this a little bit. So I'm not going to sit here and advocate that marijuana is not illegal and you shouldn't possess it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now it's still illegal, and it's still something that we have to enforce. Now, with that being said, is how it's enforced.
Yeah.
You got a blunt, you got a roll, whatever, you got something like that. It's going to be a little bit different than putting you in clankers and taking you to jail, okay? Because it's not worth that amount of time for you to go to jail, for you to get processed, for you to have court over a doobie, okay?
Right.
Cited, released, that sort of thing, okay?
That makes sense, yeah.
And then it all comes back to officer discretion, what he wants to do.
Is that pretty lenient? I mean, I don't want to get off on a whole other thing, but I was just curious.
I mean, and I got to watch what I say here because I don't want people to take this the wrong way either.
Yeah.
That we're just like destroying evidence or anything like that, because that's not what we're doing. But, it just depends on what the situation is, Number one, if you got it, you got it. It's illegal.
Yeah.
You know that Indiana doesn't accept any possession of marijuana right now whatsoever. Okay? So if you got it and you get a ticket, you get cited, you get taken to jail. I don't know. It's up to what the officer wants to do. And I'm going to tell you, I think for the majority of everybody around here, and maybe Doug or whoever's watching may smack me in the mouth later, I don't know, but you're going to probably get some sort of repercussion for it, but it's not going to be something to where it's a felony, because it's not. I mean, it's a misdemeanor charge.
Right.
Or if you got a bud or something, it could be up to the officer to say, knock it off.
Right.
Cite you, give you a ticket. I don't know. It just depends on what they want to do, because it may not be worth everybody else's time down the line just because we've been there with it.
I understand that. Yeah. And that makes sense. It really does. And kind of, I don't want to get stuck on this too long, because honestly, I don't feel like it's too important, to be honest. I mean, the shit's illegal now, and however you feel about it.
I think my biggest push with it, and it's my biggest push, is it's not the worst thing that you can have.
Right.
But I'm telling you, through the training that I've been through, I've seen it. You can still be impaired on marijuana. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, a beer isn't bad. I'm not saying that marijuana is bad.
Right.
But if it causes you intoxication of some sort, my biggest thing is you get in a car and you
That's
drive.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. That, I mean, that's where it
Totally
draws the
agree.
line, you know?
Totally agree. Yeah. I'm not, well, I mean, I don't know. I've done a lot of research on marijuana and like the side effects and, how it's in, like the intake of it going through the body, whether it's digested through the liver, if it's like an edible, or there's a lot that you could get into in that. And I don't necessarily think that, if you want my personal opinion, I think it should be legal. I really do. I feel like that it should be up to the person. But when it comes to anything that is going to impair your judgment, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a psychoactive drug for one. And so I don't think that you should be able to drive with it ever, and that's across the board with anything. And so I have very little sympathy when people bitch and moan about that, getting stopped driving, and they're, well, it's just marijuana. Well, yeah, okay, even if it was legal, you don't need to be driving with it, dummy.
Yeah. It's still, I'm here to tell you right now, whether you think it or not, or you smoked for 20 years, you're still going to be impaired on marijuana if you're driving,
Yeah.
Uh, it's the same. It's like the standardized field sobriety test. I'll run you through it. If I know you haven't been drinking, but something's going on here,
Yeah.
I'll run you through the same test, and I can pretty much tell that. I mean, if I don't smell it,
Right.
that you still got something in your system. And
No shit, you can tell.
yeah,
Yeah. Is there any? I've heard like kind of mixed, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's just not made it here yet, or maybe it has. I don't know. Is there anything to test for that, like roadside, as far as like a breathalyzer or anything?
Not that we have. There may be advanced stuff like that we just don't have access to.
Yeah.
Or that's something I could look into. I don't know.
Right.
I know that we just don't have access to something like that around here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because
I get it. What about the?
I'm not a scientist. I don't even know how you would judge that.
Yeah, I don't. Right. Yeah, I don't know either. That's for people much smarter than I.
Usually, this smell just goes away.
Yeah. Y'all run over a skunk on the way in, bro?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did, man. I tell you.
Want some Cheetos?
Fucking hungry, dog. Trying to go to McDonald's before they close at these new hours. County Market's already closed, brother. And I'm pissed off about it. What about the training, man? What kind of training is involved? Hard shit? Easy shit?
Yeah, so we all have to keep up on state mandates every year, with defensive tactics and our driving Evo, emergency vehicle operations.
Dude, that's got to be the shit, right?
Oh, it's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. It really is.
It's
a good time. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Yeah,
that is my favorite thing to do, is to drive.
Yeah.
And
I would love to run that track.
Oh, man.
If for anyone watching, if there's any way that we can make that happen, I will come out. I will bring my camera. I'll bring my drone. I will put all of the vehicles through the paces.
Dude,
just let's make it happen.
It's a
Hit
good
me up.
time. It is a great time. But, it's good training.
Yeah.
Because it's a controlled course. We go up to the academy and do that. We didn't get to this year just because of everything that's just going on. Just been too busy. But usually we go up to the academy every year, and that's where you get certified in your emergency vehicle operations anyway. And they train you all week long on how to drive cars. I mean, one day you'll be in a car where you literally have zero tread, and when you make a little bit of turn, your whole car's spinning around. So
yeah,
I mean, they just throw a whole bunch of different things at you, but yeah, that's something that everybody looks forward to every year, is going out there to the track and just seeing who's Dale Earnhardt out there.
I'm putting $10 on me. I got this. You guys know about this race setup?
Yeah. You want to see this reverse J? Okay, we'll do that.
I got $10 Monday night. Come get it.
Yeah. So no, that's the one everybody looks forward to. Obviously we've got to keep up on our firearms too.
Yeah.
We got to qualify every year with that. So there's a lot of training, and then just all the extra training that goes into being a cop. I mean, the resources out there to be better at our job is innumerable, man. It's crazy. Just anything that you want to do to be better at this job, it's out there. I've been lucky enough to go through some pretty good training. It's called DRE. It's a drug recognition expert, which doesn't sound anything at all like what it is. What it is basically it's an advanced DUI. I can look into a DUI a lot more like more like controlled DUIs, such as, you know, you don't have the odor of alcohol, you haven't been drinking, but you're still impaired. Um, I go through a whole 40-minute, basically, check your blood pressure, your temperature, do a whole bunch of tests on it. It takes about 40 minutes, stuff like that. But it's real in-depth training that I've been lucky enough and blessed with to actually get to do.
Yeah, I was talking with a buddy, Matt. If you're watching this, you are doomed, my friend. So when your eyes, you know, you get the little
Stagmus.
Yes, sir. So I found out that it's something to do with the equilibrium in the ear, correct?
It's just an uncontrollable.
The snagmus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe that it's something to do with the equilibrium in the ear, because I know that when people experience vertigo, and vertigo is like when you're falling, you feel like you're falling a million miles an hour, well, in extreme cases, but it will create an nystagmus in the ear, or in the eye, I mean, which is where your eye kind of flutters back and forth. I found out that if you put hot water in one ear and cold water in the other, it will create that, and your eyes will kind of chatter around, but it makes you super dizzy, and you get the feeling of vertigo, and then
really?
you puke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that's a real thing.
I never heard of that.
I'm gonna be doing that to Matt soon. It's gonna be on my next
poor
vlog.
guy. You put him through so much. And well, I guess, does he bring it on himself? Does he just, all right, Brandon, I'll do this?
He is a team player, dude, through and through, man. We're leaving for Vegas in like a week, and
are you gonna come back with him? That's what I'm worried about.
He's doomed, man. He booked the flight. He got the room. He did everything. I was just like, yeah, man, I'm down to go. He's like, I got it covered, man. I got it. And I was like, all right, just tell me how much money to send you, and where and how you want paid, and I'll make sure it's done. And then he's just like, yep, just send the money. I'm like, okay. And the rest is done. I don't even know what day I'm leaving, to be honest.
Do you even know what you're doing, or you just
going? I don't know what we're doing. We're going. I know that our hotel is like on the Strip, and I'm gonna be shooting video out there for actually another person while we're out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
like somebody that follows you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so while I'm doing that, so it's like a business opportunity there, and then we're going out there just to, you know, like kind of as a couple buddies, just to hang out and have a good time.
Vegas.
Yeah, and shoot the shit while we're out there. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, that dude, he is a team player.
Now, is he gonna wear a belly shirt,
the belly ring
with his cupcake belly ring?
Dude, shout out! Oh my God. It was the most fun I've ever had with that man, dude. I feel like he was up at the golf course, and he's an avid golfer, loves golfing, and I call him up and said, dude, I'm gonna pay to get your belly button pierced, and are you down? And then he said he didn't play worth a shit the rest of the day because he just knew. He's like, no matter what I said, I knew it was gonna happen. He's like, if I said no, it's gonna happen. If I said yes, it's gonna happen. It's just, I know
it's bound to happen.
And that dude is a team player, man. And now, on top of that, after the pizza thing, right?
Yeah.
Pizza King sponsored the podcast as well. And so I'm very happy and thankful for Pizza King. But for those of you that are maybe just now jumping in, I also poisoned my friend. Pizza King let me come in and make a pizza. Dude. I don't work there.
Dude,
I made one out of.
It's got to be like a health department violation on that or something.
No, see, and I looked into it. They had to make the pizza in a separate, I don't know, because I didn't cook the pizza. I just made it. But they said that they had to take everything out of one oven and make it by itself because because the fumes were like so toxic. Yeah, they said, like, you know, they couldn't do that, and I was like, no kidding. So it covered them on like all their bases. It was like a pretty well planned out thing for what it was. But I came in there, dude, and I put so much blazing sauce. I didn't even really use much pizza sauce. Everyone that watched the video, we kind of screwed up because as it was being recorded, it was me dumping the hot sauce on there, the blazing sauce, and the camera wasn't going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And by that point, the dude that actually worked there, that knew far more about making pizzas than I do, had already put all the other shit on there, like the cheese and like the pepperoni and all that. And so I was like, shit, I have to put more because we got to record it for the video. And so now I got to put it on top of the cheese. And I'm like, you're going to see it now. And so like I was trying to use it kind of sparingly because I didn't want it to like cover the whole pizza because all the sauce was already made of that. It was a wreck. And then so Matt, dude, he took it for the team. Derek was one too. Derek's reaction was the best. So we're sitting down here, and I shut the water off to the house.
Yeah, I saw that. Their reactions still are nowhere near what mine would have been. Like, I would have, if there was no water here and you locked the doors, you'd have a broken window, and I'd probably go out to the sewage line. I don't know. I mean, I'm serious. I can hardly eat a banana pepper, man. I mean,
yeah, it was so hot, man. And Derek was the best because he takes one bite, and I'm just watching, just sitting back watching. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take one for the team. So I eat like a small, like the corner piece, and I throw one of those back. And I'm thinking, all right, I know I didn't put a whole lot of shit towards the outside. It might be a little bit hot, but it's not going to be as bad as the centerpiece. And so I see Derek, dude, he snatches one, and he takes a big bite because he's starving already. I waited. Like, I really pushed it back so I wanted him to eat. And we're sitting there, and he takes one bite, and he's like, woo, something seems hot about that. That's exactly what he said, word for word. And something seems hot about that. And I go, what do you mean? And then that was when I ate my like little piece. And then he took another bite, and he's like, dude, something ain't right here.
they done mess this up down there.
It was like the best. So to be able to have them sponsor the podcast is cool because I've already worked with them, and they're hella good people.
Yeah, that's
man.
awesome, man. Yeah, they're good to us too.
Yeah, do you guys get hooked up?
Yeah, I mean they we're going some discounts.
Yeah, holla, pizza.
Holla pizza.
We see
PK,
you.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, man. What else, dude? I mean, yeah, the one thing that I really wanted to get into, and like I don't want to bring up any bad shit or anything like that, but like, what do you think like the hardest thing about it is of the job? I mean, is it like getting the drugs off the street? Is it dealing with assholes?
I mean, no, that's easy. I honestly, I think the hardest thing I think is not letting people or situations take over your demeanor, your head. You gotta realize that in the most frantic times, you're the one that needs to show. What was that, me or was that you?
That was me.
Oh,
this thing never stops.
But no, in the most frantic times, you got to show composure.
Yeah.
People come to us because we're supposed to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And how to deal with certain situations. But I think the biggest thing is, at least for me, I would say, is to just take it all in. Not let little things or somebody or a situation, blow your head off. Top your brain.
Damn, man.
There's a lot. There can be just one small scenario that has a whole bunch of other tiny scenarios combined on one, and you gotta maintain your composure. That's
gonna be tough.
I would say it's rough. And then some of the things that we see, there's a lot of things that we see that people just don't have to. That I'd never want some people to see.
Yeah.
So to process that is in and of itself, and I'm not talking gloatingly about myself or anything, but you got to figure out a way to process that without it affecting you.
It's got to be tough.
Then in turn affecting another call or another scenario or another person that you deal with. I think that's the kind of the cool thing about all of us as a unit. And I'm only talking about the guys that I know around here, but it's how it's got to be across the board. Is you got to find a way to filter it, and we do a pretty good job with that. But it can be tough,
man. I'm sure. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine going and whether it's like a suicide, and I didn't realize how alarmingly high the numbers are around here of suicide. Damn.
Yeah, it's
shocking.
It is. Honestly, it is,
and especially because you don't hear so much about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit, like this is all the time. It's all the time.
It happens way more than what it should.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part is I can't put myself in that situation. I can't imagine what it's like to be that far to a point to where that's the resort that you got to go with.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah.
But it is high. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I couldn't imagine having to deal with that as your job, for one. Like, you got to go deal with that shit and figure out what to do, and then like keep your composure, because like I mean, you still got a job to do after that. Like you
Yeah,
don't go home.
you know, that could happen at 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and you still have what 10 hours left to go in your shift.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
You know,
And yeah, you don't go home after that.
no, yeah, you don't, and I think that a majority of us, when you get something serious like that, we all kind of group together, talk about it,
Sure.
let it off our chest, because we know that there's a potential of another call coming out, and we can't keep that bottled up. You just can't keep that kind of stuff bottled up. It affects you. It doesn't matter how little or how big.
Yeah.
And I think another thing too is anything that has to do with kids, babies, kids.
I bet that it'll blow
that's a
you.
rough one.
Yeah. Dealing with that shit, I'm sure. Yeah, because I probably would lose my cool on that. I mean, I'm not a real composed guy when I get pissed off, you know it. And it's like, I wouldn't be the man for that job. I wouldn't. And I got a ton of respect for the folks that can, because I know, I mean, like I've seen some folks, man, really under a decent amount of stress go through shit, and then it's just like, nope, we're good.
Yeah, and that goes farther than just the police. I mean, you got more people that come to anything, like that EMS, fire.
Yep, that's actually
these people see the same thing too. It's not just us.
Yeah,
it takes special people just to do the certain jobs that they do.
Yeah,
I could never work on an ambulance. Heck, I could never be a dispatcher. That's not my cup of tea. And the people that do it are meant to do that job.
Remember that time I broke my leg? What's up?
Oh yeah, when your tibia was sticking out of your pants. I was like, no, this ain't gonna be that bad. And I walk out.
I broke my leg, man, and everyone call the cops. Alden shows up. Who was with you?
Garrett Miller.
That's who it was. Yeah,
he was
Garrett.
Reserve. Now he's full time for us now.
I forgot he was here. Yeah,
big old honky.
Yeah, I remember that. The EMS dude shows up and he's like, "Damn, got a couple of trees in here." You guys are both like 6'7". Like, damn, man. Yeah, you guys are over here, and I was. I don't drink anymore, but I was a heavy drinker at the time. I was like, "Hey, y'all want to hand me that beer?"
Yeah. Let me grab this off you. That's probably the. If I had an ice cold beer and I had a bone sticking out of my leg, give me everything until the medics get here.
Man, I'll tell you,
pour it on there. I don't even care.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't worried about it.
Actually, you probably wouldn't even have to go that far with me because I'd probably passed out. But.
Dude, it was nuts. And everyone asked if I was drunk at the time, and the answer to that was no. And
ish or no?
No, no, not at all. That was like early in the night. It was I remember that was beer 2, and it broke.
Oh, the magic number. That was my second beer.
I've only had 2, officer. Bullshit, partner. Yeah. But it broke, man. And then I remember the nice lady in the ambulance had to listen to me yelling at my dad on the phone. You should have heard us go back and forth. I'm in the back of the ambulance, and I'm like, hang on, I got to make this phone call real quick. And I call up my dad. He's pissed off because I broke my leg. Damn it, Brandon, you dumbass. I told you not to be fucking ready. He's madder than hell already. And I'm like, all right, Dad, I got it. My leg's broke. I'm going to the hospital, asshole. And we're just yelling back and forth. And actually, I didn't call him Dad, I guess. I said, all right, asshole. I'm like, we're arguing back and forth. And he's like, do I need to come up there and like get you tonight? And I was like, no, you don't understand what I'm talking about. This
surgery.
Yeah, like I'm going in for immediate surgery. This thing is snapped in half. He's like, oh shit. Are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine now.
Don't fake it, please. Let's just keep yelling.
I'm like,
that's what we do.
I'm fine now. He's like, oh shit, man. Well, I'm sorry. I'll come up there and see you tomorrow. I was like, all right, well, no worries if you can't. Now we're all cooled down. Now I get off the phone. That EMS lady, she's like, oh, was that your brother? Like, no, it was my dad, man.
Dude.
Yeah, I couldn't be an EMSer. No way.
No, I mean, I can watch and look and see all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to me, if I was laying on your living room floor and I saw my tibia sticking out of my leg, it'd probably be.
I feel like I handled it well.
Oh, you did. You're a boss, man. You're like nothing happened. Like you knew you couldn't walk anywhere, so you're just gonna lay there and make the best of it. And you did.
Yeah, just having a good time, just recording a little video while I'm on the ground.
And then when they picked your leg up and it just kind of went.
Oh yeah, that was not good. That hurt, man. That was not good. That was the worst pain I've ever felt when that like fell off the thing. I was like, oh my god, I legit, I can't take any more of this pain. Like I just couldn't do. Like that was it. I couldn't do it anymore. That was terrible. I hope that I never have to do that again.
Now, how the meds in the ambulance? I mean, those had to be killer, right?
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, nothing.
They asked me how many beers I had, and I said I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't know. I think two or three. I mean, I'm in like shock. So the last thing I'm thinking about is how many beers I had. I'm like, I
Right.
don't know. I was like, like two, and they're like, and I think they thought that. Like, I think they were like, oh, two,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we hear that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so and I'm like, no, legit. I think it was like two that I had. And like, well, do you think like two or is it two? I said, I don't know. I was like, let's just plan for 10, all right, then, because I know I haven't had 10, and I start getting pissed. And they're like, well, if you've had 10 beers, then we can't give you anything. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. And
Whatever, these 10 beers are making me feel fine.
I feel fine anyways. Pissed on. I'm gonna go sleep. Just put me back in my bed.
It'll heal itself, right?
Just wrap it up, all right? Just
Like
wrap
a
it in a blanket.
dislocation, just pop it back in. We'll put some duct tape around
Yeah,
it.
I'll tape it. You got a broomstick? Bring it over here. And yeah, they did give me something. Like I think when I asked, I think they gave me like water. But I mean, when you're
Oh,
under
yeah,
like,
the all natural painkiller.
yeah, dude, they were like pumping shit into me, and like, you know, when you're under extreme stress, your memory is shot all to hell.
Right.
And
Yep.
like I quickly learned that. I learned a good lesson there, because almost any time I know that it's like, you would know, you ask somebody where it's been like an extreme deal. It's like you pull 5 different people and all 5 stories.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah, you gotta wait a couple days.
yeah,
And you gather all your that's
Yeah.
how it goes.
yeah. And so like I don't really remember, but I do remember that when I got there, they gave me morphine, and like the lady pumped a whole bunch of that shit into me, and then I didn't do anything, and they came back in a little while later, and I was like, hey, how long does this shit kick in? Like, oh, we'll just give you some more, and they gave me more, and I was like, okay, and then they came back, dude. I waited forever. They were super short
Come
staffed
back
there.
and your tongue sticking out of your mouth.
No, man, they came back, and I was like a crackhead. I was itching real bad. And I was like, hey, I'm still hurting like hell, and I'm itchy. Like, oh, you're allergic to it. And it's like a super small percent of people that it doesn't affect, and they're allergic. I'm
Oh,
one of
lucky
them.
you.
Yeah, and so they had to give me, or they gave me, I think it was like Percocet or something. And then they
Molly
hit
Percocet.
that hit, and dude, it was, I was like, oh,
There's a song about that somewhere.
oh, yeah. I'm into that gangster stuff.
Molly Percocet. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Good
But
thing
yeah.
you can just like wipe that away.
If you guys only knew. But yeah, dude, so that was nuts. And I couldn't imagine, even like on your end, you know, obviously you're not EMS, but I'm sure you got to see some rough shit. That's gotta
Yeah,
be
man.
tough.
Yeah, I mean, I've held a foot in my hand. That's
just a foot?
just a foot.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is it heavy?
Warm.
Warm?
It was warm. It's about all I remember until I gave it to the EMS staff, and
Holy shit.
then it kind of hit me like
that had to have been
that
weird.
just happened. Yeah. So I'll get graphic here, but to kind of describe it, if I must, you know them dog bones that have a little bit of meat on them still?
Oh,
that like
yeah.
they're the brown ones that are.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Damn.
But
so
warm.
no shoe?
No shoe.
No
There was
shoe.
a crock. There was a crock, so it just come out of the crock.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'd have got sicker than hell. Like, did you puke?
No, I'm good with that. With me, like looking at and doing that stuff, I'm good with it. Now,
Really?
me, that was me.
Yeah.
That happened to.
Yeah.
I'm probably lifeless.
Yeah.
So,
like you're just gonna lay there.
yeah,
No
probably.
foot.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
foot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at it and I'm gonna be out.
Yeah. Damn. But you can handle other people. I would be like, for me, I'm the opposite. My shit was broke. I was like, it's broke.
Yeah. See, yeah, no.
But dude, I would not like.
Which I've never broken anything anyway. So if first time I break something, it'd probably be like this world's coming to an end. But I'm serious.
Do you think you'd cry? Would you scream like a girl?
No, I'm tough.
Hell yeah! For those of you that are just listening, the man's nodding his head, and I think he's got a tear in his eye right now.
Yeah, it's already starting. Let's just hope that never happens.
What about what's your favorite thing? What do you like the most?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, honestly,
No, I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
No, yeah. I mean, I should have known some of these questions were coming, but
it's all good.
you know, there's a lot more that I love doing with this job
I think the dog's got to be kick-ass,
oh,
right?
dude, I love Nico, man. He's awesome.
Do you ever get pissed off? Like, 'cause I get pissed at Zuko.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill.
So it's like having a roommate that never leaves you alone, right?
Yeah.
But buddy, I mean, he's literally with me more than most people.
Yeah.
Goes home with me. He rides with me when I'm working.
Yeah.
We're doing whatever. But no, if I have to say the grand scheme of things, that's probably the coolest thing we'll ever do in law enforcement is be a canine handler, man. It's so much fun. It's so rewarding. And but like you said, sometimes when he's ready to go, he'll just sit back there in the kennel and all you hear is and he'll spin around, or somebody walks by, he goes crazy.
Yeah. Thanks,
Kyle Askren, for that. He never used to bark when people walk by, but he liked to not go. Now he never stops. But no, I mean, sometimes you're just like, God, dude, chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I do know.
He's my little buddy.
Yeah, man. Dude, I told Zuko the other day I was gonna saw his head off.
Well, if we're good, I'm not gonna go that graphic, but
yeah, I was so pissed off, man. I love my dog. I would never hurt my dog. I've never hurt him. I have
for all you.
Yeah. I have a clothing line, and one of my very first shirts is a Zuko shirt. So the dog has his own shirt. But let me tell you.
Or is that BrandonBriles.com?
Yeah, holla, BrandonBriles.com. You get you one there right now.
Hashtag at the police 20% off.
Active police, yeah. Man, and so I got so pissed off at him though, and I was like, he's outside, and so the neighbors probably heard me. I'm surprised you didn't get a call, because like I started laughing after, because obviously I'm joking, but I sit him down. And I was like, dude, I swear to God, I will saw your head off. Like, he just looks at me, he's like, "Yeah, y'all got a treat?"
Yeah.
He don't care.
By far the worst part that I've ever had with having a canine, he got sprayed by a skunk while I was working one night.
Oh yeah,
dude, the most awful, god awful thing that I've ever had to go through.
Yep, I've done it.
So yeah, late one night, and I was up there at the usually try to take him up there by Shopco, that open grass area.
Oh, like the shit.
Yeah, to go out and do his business. And I was standing out there, and I think, if I remember right, I was on the phone. No, I wasn't on the phone. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, he's running out, and I usually don't let him get too far out, but we'd been kind of busy that night, and he hadn't got to run around any, so I was letting him stretch his legs, and I look over towards the parking lot of Shopco, and I saw what I thought was a plastic bag. It's kind of windy out. I thought it was white. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't see no black. Mind you, it's 2:30 in the morning, something like that. I was like, and I saw him run up to it and stop and kind of like go down like he was playing with it. And I'm like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, that's not. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Nico, get over it. By that time, it's too late. I see him like pop back and kind of cock his head, like, what the hell just happened? And then I see this freaking skunk just start like waddling away, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Dude, so I'm like, get over here.
Dude.
He comes a bolting running over here, and I have swing his back door open, and as he jumps in, the back door just hits me. Boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
dude, did it smell like chemicals?
Yes.
Yes, that's what so Zuko got sprayed, and I didn't realize, like, when you drive around and like you smell a skunk that got hit, it's like that, like where maybe like Zuko got hit in the face, and so like his ass smelled like an extreme version of that.
Yes.
But his face where he got hit was like straight chemicals.
Yep.
It smelled like hairspray and
Yep.
like a weird. I was like, dude, what in the hell have you got into?
It's almost not even the same smell that you smell when you're going past the dead skunk.
It's not. Yeah, it's not at all. It was not that smell.
Because it's so much more. It's so much more worse. Wow.
Yeah. No.
It's so much worse.
Dude, it was awful, man. And I bathed that dog and bathed him and bathed him and bathed him, and it lasted forever. It seemed like my house stunk, the inside, the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah. So
I feel your pain.
And that includes, so like I'm stuck with him. I'm like, there ain't nobody else working. I was on nights by myself, and I'm like, so I call it, Tyler Bowling, and I'm like, dude, this is what happened. What do I do? Like,
You're
You
on
know,
Attica?
yeah, no, nothing's open. There is
Oh,
nothing open around here for nothing.
shit. Yeah. Didn't think about
So
that.
luckily, Brent Needler over at Warren County, he's like, hey man, I got some soap. We can try it, kind of knock down the smell.
Yeah.
All right, that's better than nothing. Let's get it off before it soaks real deep in.
Yeah.
So I zoom over to the jail in Warren County, and by the time I get there, dude, all my windows are rolled down. And mind you, having a dog, when you have your windows down,
He's
you just
loving
got hair. Yo, dude,
Yeah.
yeah, hair's everywhere. It's going in your mouth and up your nose. And, and I'm pretty sure that night, I'm not even kidding, I'm pretty sure I swept that car out that night too. So it was all nice inside.
Oh, man.
And so we get there, and by this time, my nose has kind of succumbed to the smell. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not that
Not
bad.
that bad.
And here comes Swisher. She pulls in a little bit later, and she's like, "Dude, damn!"
Yeah.
I'm like, is that bad? She's like, yeah." And I'm telling you, it soaked into everything.
Yeah,
It
dude.
soaked into bags. It soaked into.
Dude, yeah, when Zuko got sprayed, man, it was terrible. And wow, let's just leave it at that. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it's awful. I wish that upon no one.
Yeah.
It was
Man,
rough.
that's cool though. I love that you're here, man. And I'll wrap this up because I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're
No,
hitting
man,
about
you're
an
good.
hour.
Do we got anybody that's got any more questions?
Yeah, yeah. You guys have anything that you guys would like to ask some of the people that are in here before I wrap this up? I like to keep all the podcasts around an hour to an hour and a half. We just hit the hour mark. So if you have any questions, I would love to hear them while I got this, man. It's time's valuable, folks.
Bryce says rolling a joint at Shopco and the dog gets sprayed.
He's an idiot. That's exactly what I'm saying. This dude is an idiot through and through. And we don't do a whole lot of shopping up there. County Market sponsors this podcast.
Hey.
Holla, County Market. What's up? I see. Yeah, man. No, I'm really glad though that you did this, and I know that this probably isn't like one of the number one things that you wanted to do, and so
No, that's not it at all. I did. I really wanted to do this, man. I was as
so you were
nervous as I
actually-
was.
yeah.
I was looking forward to
Really?
it.
You were stoked about it?
I hope that you have me on again, and maybe we can bring up some different issues or whatever. But
I would love to.
I can't see any comment. I mean, maybe I'm technologically.
I had to back out. Yeah, I had to do that too. Number one.
Whoa, easy.
Oh yeah, you're
I
good.
got some backplay on that.
Yeah, it does that sometimes.
So like now I can't see nothing. So later on when I go home and scroll through this video, I'm gonna see how many people are laughing and making fun of me.
Yeah, well,
Like
and it's always
Doug.
the people
Doug.
that and it's always the people that watch it later too. They're like, "Oh, you should have said this. You should have said this." And,
Yeah, well, and then that's
you
the thing.
should have been
If you-
watching, asshole.
If you got me
So-
back on here, man, I'll bring it. We'll bring it up next time or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and I would definitely have you on. I'd have and anyone
I'm
on the
not
department.
nowhere interesting as Carrie Miller, but
Oh hell, piss on Carrie Miller. hope you're listening or watching, Carrie. I love that man. He's a good guy, and he's a dear friend of mine now.
Oh, yeah. Seems like a good dude, man.
He's the funniest, man. He's funny, and like trying to keep that guy. I'll tell you one thing that's been really cool about this podcast is it's really helped mold me into a better conversationalist. So like to try to steer the way things are going, and like you don't want to talk for the other person, but you don't want to like box them into a corner. Dude, Carrie Miller, you asshole, you are the worst one. Is he's all over the place all the time, and he's like the nicest guy on the planet, and talking to him's fun, and like trying to keep him focused. Like, all right, man, we're gonna talk about this. He's like, oh yeah. Like when me and him we used to do Facebook Live videos all the time.
Yeah,
like,
I remember. Yeah, I'd sit there and watch, comment, whatever.
Yeah, and so even that, like trying to talk to him, and I thought, well, when he comes in on this podcast, talking to him, it's gonna be much easier because I'm gonna be able to look him in the eye, and I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this, dude? No.
No, not at all.
No, dude, he's just the same Carrie either way. But it's I love that man. I would do anything for him.
Yeah, this is a totally different. I mean, I've been on the news. I've been on indie news. I've talked to paper.
Yeah,
That stuff don't bother me. But man, I was on my way here and I was like, why am I so nervous?
I mean, really,
Yeah, man. I don't know why.
I was nervous. It's kind of faded now. But when I first. Probably, I would say when I first started doing Facebook Live videos, I was the very first one I did. I vividly remember that, and I was like Like I was shaking, like
Oh
legit.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I
oh
would
man,
too.
like I wonder. And I was scared because I was like, man, I wonder what people are gonna say, or like, am I gonna get people to like communicate with me, or am I gonna be like talking to myself in this mirror, pretty
Right.
much, you know? And that was a weird thing. And then when I started the podcast, I figured like, because after the countless Facebook Live videos I did, I was like, I felt good about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the very first podcast, I don't know if it was because maybe I had somebody here and it was just my dad. But even then, I was like, I was nervous.
Which boss?
Yeah,
Boss.
holla, dad.
Boss.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Right
I love busting his chops. It's one of my favorite things.
Speaking of chops, those chops.
Dude, did you see? He didn't even take his sunglasses off the whole time.
He'd Eric Church that the whole way.
He goes, shit. He's like, I'm here. Take me. He's like, come, man. I'm leaving in a minute. I got cigarettes to smoke.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised you just say, leave me an ashtray. Make sure there's an ashtray in here.
I was cracking up. He's like, yeah, I'll be out of here. And my truck's going to look like it's on fire on the way out. Yeah. Dude, no, I'm really glad that you came on, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I'm going to shout out the sponsors, man. Thank you guys so much for making this happen. And I'm actually getting ready to bring a few more sponsors on for this next month. And, man, the coolest thing is right now, like, so when I first started this podcast, I was really nervous because I thought that it would get like 5 downloads a day, maybe. I'm up to now 100 downloads a day.
Kidding.
Yeah, through audio only. And then, whatever Facebook Live does, which is usually around 1,000 views or so.
That's awesome.
And so, man, shout out to all you guys that are listening to this. And if you're watching it on Facebook Live, the podcast is called the B Team Podcast. It's like this poster that's up here. And you can find the links to it on my website now. I updated some things. And so no matter what you have, if it's an Android or an iPhone or whatever, you can go to brandonbriles.com. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the B Team Podcast. And it's available on the podcast app. It's on Spotify. And it's also on Stitcher. And I've been told, and I don't know because I'm irresponsible and I don't know very many people with Androids, but it's also on Google somewhere. And yeah, there's every now and then it pops up. A lot of people listen to it, I guess, on Google. Like, well, I say a lot, but it's like 2% of my stats. So
2%.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. At the end of the month, I guess it's like 20 or whatever. But so that's been really cool, and seeing this thing grow as fast as it has, and being out in public and people asking me about it is really, really humbling and very cool. So I just want to tell you guys thank you for that. And I know that the video is really blurry, and it's a problem that I'm going to have to deal with for a little while, probably another couple of months before I can get this figured out. It's a problem with the amount of data that's being transferred over Facebook Live. And so the camera quality, like everything I have in the house is great quality, but it's a ton of data to go over the internet. So I got to get something else figured out. So I know, and when I see the comments, I'm not ignoring them. It's tough to address the same thing over and over. But I would like to shout out the sponsors, though, that helped make all this happen. Raymer's, thank you. The Clearance Aisle, the Broadwater Group, Attica Vapors, Wild Graphics, County Market Now, Bobcat, and Pizza King is next on the list, man. Thank you guys so much. You guys have helped make something that I think is going to really change the way that the community interacts with
Bunch of
others.
Good people right there.
Yeah, man, it's really cool, and I feel like this is going to be a good spot for people to actually come and find information, because everybody's on Facebook and a ton of people listen to podcasts, and so it's really, really cool. And I thank you, Alden, for being on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
And I thank all you guys for listening.
See ya.
Adios. We'll see y'all soon.